next speaker is Mr. Dai Wei from Shanghai Sino Fuel Cell Company. He's going to talk about opportunities for hydrogen fuel cell passenger vehicles.
Good morning. I'm Dai Wei from Shanghai Sino Fuel Cell. Today I'd like to talk about the opportunities for the use of fuel cell in LDVs, and actually in my report I will look at the past 2 decades, the use and development, and also the lessons and failures we've had in terms of the development of Sino fuel cells global-wide, and also I will talk about what we can do to make breakthroughs in China and where are the opportunities. First of all, just a little advertisement. We were founded in 1998. Sino Fuel Cell were the first private company in this industry, and we've done just one thing in the past 24 years, that is to industrialize the fuel cells. And also, we've been the leading player in the drafting of certain policies and the development plans for the nation as well. And also, we've acquired multiple national standards accreditations, and we are the first to get accredited by CNAS. Without accumulating small steps, you could never reach far. And in the past decades, we've sold altogether 240 plus megawatts stacks, and for MCVs on the road is 1,500 plus, and for commercial mileage, it's more than 47 million kilometers, and for the bus operating mileage is more than 140,000 kilograms. And actually, by June this year, our performance has exceeded that of last year, and probably we are hoping that it could be doubled. And this is actually the first graphite panel fuel cell that can provide up to 150 kilowatts. It can operate by, say, a cold start when it's minus 35 centigrades. And also, we've got multiple testing platforms. And also, we do experiments at a third-party laboratory for other players in the industry. So this is just a very simple introduction of our company. Now, I'd like to briefly introduce myself. I graduated from Wuhan University of Technology, and later on, I had my postdoc and MBA in the University of British Columbia, Canada. And in 2006, me and my mentor founded Wuhan Polytechnic New Energy, the first commercial fuel cell membrane electrode company in China. And in 2016, he returned to China and joined us. And then we dived even deeper into this industry. I've got experience in various aspects inside the industry. Now I'll move on to the main topic of today. That is a 20 years dilemma of FCEV commercialization. If you look at this picture, you may feel very familiar, but of course, some of you may not. This is a first fuel cell concept or high wall by GM. Actually, a Musk. We could say that it actually copied this concept of fuel cell car. We call it a go-kart as a nickname, as all the key components are on the chassis. We can see that it's very advanced technology, and the shell of the car can be changed. It used fuel cell stacks, front electric motor, and a wheel hub motor, and lithium-ion batteries. Remember that it was in 2002. A high well means hydrogen and wireless wire control. That's why it's called high wire. So we can see that 2 decades ago, we have managed to produce this very advanced concept car. However, people say that in 5 years, we'll be able to commercialize it. However, we've been repeating this every 5 years, and we haven't done that yet. So there is something wrong. Let's look at some data. This is the global FCV ownership distribution. You can see that we've been working hard on that for 20 years. However, by 2021, the total number is fewer than 50,000. Just to give you a bit of more background, in 2021, the car sold globally is 72 million. So 20 years effort means just a tiny bit of the market share. And this is the global hydrogen refueling station distribution global-wide. By 2021, the hydrogen refueling station global-wide has totaled in just a few hundreds, and in Asia, it's just a fewer than 300, and another 67 to go into operation. So this is already leading. So 20 years in Japan, Korea, California, the United States. If we put all the numbers together with all the efforts they've been making to promote it, to build hydrogen refilling station, despite of all that, it's still altogether 600 plus. So compared with all the fossil fuel gas stations, it's still a very tiny part of it. And that is also one of the reasons that FCV is not being developing as good as we expected. So the question is, chicken first or egg first? Well, I attended a big conference just a few years ago on this, and the people are still talking about chicken and egg. In the foreign countries, people are mostly promoting the FCV, LDVs, as you don't know where the passenger will go, you don't know where to build the fueling stations. And without the fueling station, people are reluctant to purchase this kind of vehicle. So this is a kind of paradoxical situation, chicken or egg. 20 years effort still unresolved. When I was at a UVC's business school, the teacher asked me that why would your customer buy this kind of car? And I gave an answer with great confidence. It's environmentally friendly, and it's low energy consumption, and also it doesn't produce any pollutants. It's just water. And then the teacher just laughed. Well, why would people buy it? Because you can address their pains. There are customer pains. So what kind of people would purchase FCVs? Well, a very simple survey have given us this results that for customers who purchase FCV, they all have a Mercedes-Benz at home, meaning that they are rich but they've got so much spare money at hand and they want to save the earth. So they want to purchase a very expensive FCV. But of course, that is a better choice than being violent or spending your money otherwise. So that means that it's a very small market for FCVs because it has a very small target customer group who has this desire to express their willingness to protect the earth, to live a green lifestyle. So for FCVs, what kind of problems or pains have we addressed? So we are the industry insider, so we need to answer this question. And actually, it answers the pains generated by by EVs, for example, long charging time, mileage anxiety, and lack of charging stations, long queues, and also poor winter experience. And these are actually the advantages of FCVs, especially for long-haul commercial vehicles. For the long-haul commercial vehicles, they have two key demands. First, it can run far, and second, it can charge quickly. And for lithium-ion batteries, they can't meet these two needs, because if you want to run a long distance, then you need more power. You will need a bigger, heavier battery. Then the car will be heavy loaded with this bulky battery. So this is a kind of vicious cycle. And for Tesla's truck, it's 1,500. If you want to finish the charging within 1 hour, you will need a very powerful charging station. However, there are people who want to quickly charge it, then that will put extra pressure on the grid, because the grid is not serving the purpose of quick and heavy load charging. Then we will have to renovate the whole grid. So there are a lot of pains for us to answer to. Then why does China is very active to promote FCV. That is our pressure from environmental protection. So if we want to take Taiwan part of mainland China again, then we need to do something in terms of energy efficiency. And if we look at this chart, look at the renewable energy and oil imported, you can see that renewable energy is actually widely spread in China. But renewable energy is unstable. However, hydrogen can convert it into reliable and stable secondary energy resources. That's why China is very active in promoting FCVs and hydrogen power. Then there is a question, should we follow the other countries in terms of developing LDVs or some other kinds of vehicles? Follow our own way. If we look at the technology, they are not enemies. They complement each other. They are brothers. For FCVs, they're good for long-haul, heavy-duty vehicles, and for short-range, light-duty vehicles, I think lithium-ion has more advantages. And Toyota has done a great job in this field. We've got some cooperative projects running with them, and this is their new edition, some of the parameters. So they developed this based on their hybrid EV platform. They have sacrificed FC to compromise private supply chain. But for China, we are not developed on this hybrid platform. Instead, we develop it on this EV platform. So we would like a hybrid model of lithium-ion batteries and hydrogen power. And also, we want to start with commercial vehicles to promote the infrastructure construction of these renewable energies, and then we can roll it out to passenger cars. So we build a station, and with these commercial vehicles, we can build more and more stations, and to gradually spread it out nationwide, we need more cars and lower costs. In terms of technology, we followed Do Yang-song's methodology is small, quick steps and quick feedbacks. In terms of a business model, it's more a sustainable business model. We call it a diamond model. And in terms of promotion, we follow two principles. The first one is it has to be affordable to buy and use, and also it has to be driven by hydrogen, as it should be energy and hydrogen oriented. When we first rolled out this business model, no one believed us. And we did a case in Zhangjiakou. Zhangjiakou now has 460 plus FC buses deployed since July 2018.
In other words, every day they run 250 kilometers. Well, in winter, maybe they only run dozens of kilometers. As a result, we managed to address people's anxiety regarding mileage, and for refueling 50 minutes. In other words, we addressed the pain point of long charging time. All these commercial vehicles have managed to reach over 25 million plus kilometers mileage, and they stood the test of high altitude above 1,000 plus meters. In other words, the pain point of extreme environment was also solved. The charge cost is 35 RMB per kilometers, which is equivalent to diesel or to diesel and the gasoline. So for end customers, it doesn't make any difference as they pay the same for refueling. And we have 4 hydrogen refueling stations that run 24/7, and every day they charge 1.5 tons, and they have 350k RMB in cash every day during these businesses. So we address the pain point of profitability. Around the world, all these refueling stations, they suffer losses. Only in China, we managed to get revenue. So the competition is really fierce, and this year during Winter Olympics in Beijing, 455 FC buses from Sino fuel cell they were there to serve the Winter Olympic. In total, they managed to reach 36,000 service hours with over 1.1 million kilometers of service miles and managed to reduce CO2 emissions by over 500 tons. They served to the athletes and other members of the Winter Olympics. So next slide, I would like to talk about the opportunities for FCLTV. This year, jointly with Chang'an, we launched China's first commercial version of fuel cell passenger vehicles. It's a sedan with a range over 700 kilometers. And there are two stats that are extremely critical. First is 0.65 kilograms per 100 kilometer of fuel. In other words, 100 kilometers, only 200 RMB will be the cost, which is very attractive for our customers. What's more, the NVH is only 55 dB, which is in the normal range. Well, Chang'an has solicited suppliers from 39 stacks worldwide for sourcing, and after 4 rounds of bidding, we had the honor to be picked to jointly launch this fuel cell vehicles with Shenli. Actually comes in 3 different platforms: pure electric vehicle and enhanced mileage, as well as EV plus FV. For the EV plus FV, the cost is 700K, but because of the subsidy, that's why it's priced more expensively. However, it will be delivered to you once you place an order. So it's a spot vehicle. So where do the opportunities for FCLTV lie? Basically, we'll go back to the previous question. Shall we follow foreign practices or we do it ourselves? Outside China, lithium-ion only accounts for about 2% of the total. Well, this means burden on part of fuel cell vehicles. On the other hand, it doesn't leverage or it doesn't give full play to the advantages of lithium-ion and fuel cell vehicles. So I believe that in the future it's gonna be FV plus EV hybrid instead of purely FV, because in the past we did this because we didn't have access to any such, and the people just benchmark engine. However, fuel cell is not engine. It represents some sort of electrochemical reaction facilities. So in this, if we combine the advantages of fuel cell with lithium-ion and we avoid their respective disadvantages, and I think that represents the breakthrough or the future of fuel cell vehicles. What's more, one important thing is about the hydrogen refueling stations, because if we were to make true breakthroughs, we need to wait for the commercial vehicles to truly help us lay down a network of hydrogen refueling stations. That's when we will find out real opportunities, and I think this process takes about 3 to 5 years, and the pressure has to reach 70 ampere, which represents a challenge for us. That's why I'm saying that it takes about 5 years for us to attain that goal. Well, laying down such refueling stations will be quick. For long-distance heavy-duty trucks, they need 7 ampere as well. Not just the fuel cell vehicles need 70 ampere. So when we have these refueling stations in place, will we find true opportunities for FCV? But by that time, it will compete against purely electric or PHEV. So if you have advantages on cost front as well as on other front, fuel cell vehicles have opportunities in particular in scenarios such as taxi, SUV, where people use cars a lot. Opportunities are there, but if you can't deliver on this front, sorry, the market is not. It's not going to be in your hands. There's 4 things that we need to tackle. Firstly, we need to address the customer pain for passenger vehicles. So you have to think about who your target customers are and what the pain points they have, whether FCV can truly address the pain points that they have. And second, refueling must be easy, they can be affordable, and also that's where it must be affordable to use. That's where the opportunities for FCV lie. So keywords here are key say total cost ownership. If you have competitiveness on TCO, then you will have opportunities. So here I'm presenting data from DOE from the United States, including light duty and heavy duty, how the cost curve will go down as the increased ownership of these vehicles. The cost will go down to around to below 80 and around 40 for different models. If you can achieve that cost, then you will have cost advantage. Bloomberg did some analysis according to some medium analysis in China. If you use electrolyzers to produce hydrogen and the cost of storage and transportation of hydrogen is included, costs will be about dozens of US dollars per kilogram. So if the cost can bring down to that level, that will be an advantage on the cost front. So in summary, the combination will be the necessary path. And for passenger vehicles, the true breakthroughs lies in addressing the pain points of customers. You must be competitive in TCO, and what we do is to bring costs down in terms of FC as well as hydrogen. Thank you very much so much for